Hello and welcome to the Revolution of Love. That was the intro slash, you know, just kind of setting the tone tonight. Hope you had an opportunity to mention someone who's no longer in this plane, and this is just us bringing honor to them. And with that, I'd like to pass it to Reverend Felicia Parazaider.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. I am just now, can you hear me? Let's see, hopefully y'all can hear me. I am just, let's see, we're streaming live on Facebook. We're streaming live on Facebook, so everybody say hello to the Facebook attendees, yes. So hello, everyone. This is our Revolution of Love Sunday night Zoom service. We've been doing this since March 2020, but know that the Revolution of Love has been going since 2012. So what you are stepping into, what you are zooming into has been gestating and birthing itself in new ways for a very long time. So we're so grateful you're here. We are thankful that you said yes to us this evening. And without further ado, let's do like we do, and that is light a candle. So if you have a candle that you would like to light, and this is usually when I see people kind of scurrying about, if you have a candle that you would like to light, then please feel free to do so. And also, I often say this, and I would like to especially say it for this evening, that this is not a meeting. No, this is not a Zoom meeting. This is a sacred time with one another as a community. So if you want to think of this as a ritual, if you want to think of this as a ceremony, this is a special time. And so really dive deep into this time as we move forward. Okay. And now I will pray the way that I pray, understanding that at roll, that may look very differently for you. You may send energy, you may send blessings, but it is all welcome here. So let us begin with taking 3 deep breaths, and we will do that breathing in through the nostrils and then exhaling out of the mouth. So breathing in and exhaling. Okay, and now a second breath, breathing in. And exhaling. And then a third breath, breathing in. And the exhale. Holy One, one with many names, we give thanks for another night. We give thanks for another day. And may your spirit descend upon this holy time, this time of deep mysticism that we get to partake in together from different corners of the country. May we truly dive deep in what it means to really love, And that our hearts open in such a way this evening that there is a permission and an invitation that perhaps we have never felt before. Amen. And so in this place of invitation, may an allowance, an experience resonate and stir our souls. It is often the grief that knows no bounds, that goes unheard and unseen for so long. And it is this grief that can open us up. And so a prayer of protection and assistance as we journey. And also lifting up so many different religious communities right now and spiritual communities that are doing the good work, that are assisting in people's healing, connecting with them. And then of course, lifting up people that have been left behind, due to all of the different forms of violence and the different tragedies that have befallen us. And so prayer is going out to right now, prayers of love and sacredness and safekeeping to families and friends that are on this side of the veil, grieving their loved ones on the other side. Spirit, again, may you descend upon this time, that we truly come out from this reckoning, this hour, in a different way, in a new way of love. And so it is. And the people said, Amen, Amen, Mashiach, Ho. Ho. Okay. Now we move to Taylor X, who will be offering our acknowledgements and some other pieces of truth. Taylor X.
Greetings and salutations, everyone. At this time, we'd like to take a moment to reflect on the lands on which we reside. We are coming from many places, and we acknowledge the ancestral homelands and traditional territories of indigenous people who have been here since time immemorial, and to recognize that they're still here, fighting for human rights, for lands and their culture. It is important to not only honor the legacy and lives of the original caretakers of this land, but to continue to build our solidarity with Native peoples across the Americas and across the globe. I'm in North Hollywood, California, and I acknowledge and honor the land of the Chumash, the Tongva, the Frenendeno, and the Tarevium. Please take a moment to acknowledge the indigenous people, the lands where you are located in the chat. Now, we'd also like to take time to acknowledge and honor the many paths and beliefs represented here. We honor all religions, philosophies, ideologies, belief systems, healing modalities, and spiritual perspectives. We honor the life experience and wisdom you have brought here today. We respect you and we welcome you into this brave space. We are emphatically state that disrespect, prejudice, discrimination of any kind has no place here. We empower one another through respect and strength to be true revolutionaries of love and justice. We see you, we hear you, we love you. Now, if you have a path, faith, tradition, belief system, please share it in the chat so we can get to know you better. I'd like to thank everyone for sharing the memes for the service. We are growing with people from all across the country and even some from around the globe. Again, feel free to copy the memes, and you got to share them at will. I say you got to share them at will. At Roll, there is one thing we want everyone here and on Facebook to know. And I mean, really know this deep down to the marrow of your bones, that you are somebody, you are important, you are a big deal, and you matter. We see you, we hear you, and we love you. Thank you. Back to you, Rev.
Taylor X, you're on one tonight. Taylor X is on one tonight. Okay, so we thank you, Taylor X. Thank you for grounding us in those acknowledgements and so much more. And now Manny Figueroa will be offering our mission and vision statement. Manny.
Thank you. I was having some technical difficulties there, so I apologize. But my name is Manny Figueroa. My pronouns are he and him. I'm located in Las Vegas, Nevada, and I do have a mission statement for the Revolution of Love here, and it is to create courageous, multipath communities through healing services, educational offerings, and the study and practice of abolition for dynamic inner and outer transformation. As for the vision statement, it is to bring hope, inspiration, education, and action to every change agent in the world. If you are breathing, you are a change agent. And we welcome all of who you are, what you look like, where you come from, who you love, and we love you. The time is now. This is the revolution. Thank you for listening. Also, just wanted to mention, it is Pride Month, as you may know. It is also Immigrant Heritage Month as well. I'll be posting a link to that for more information. If you do have, the capacity, the availability, and just out of the kindness of your heart to be able to show some gratitude and support for the revolution of love, it does help keep everything rolling. This is how it continues. So your presence here is a part of that. So don't forget that. But we would appreciate anything you can offer. You'll see that link shortly here in the chat. And with that, I'd like to pass it to Rev.
Thank you, Manny. And what time is it?
The time is now.
There it is, right. The time is now. The time is now. Okay. Why am I seeing this? Can you get me off the screen share? Okay, thank you. Thank you. Wait a minute. Hold it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes.
I know at least one of you loves this, and that's Nancy. I can see Nancy laughing. Okay, I'm a one-trick pony. What can I say? I get on one joke and I just keep going and going and going. So it is Reverend Felicia Parazaider. We are live on Facebook. So once again, say hi to everybody on the book of face. What else? My pronouns are she, her, hers, they, them, theirs. I'm acknowledging the stolen lands of the Fernandinho Tataviam, the Chumash, and the Tongva. And yes, happy Pride Month, everybody. Happy Pride Month. And also we have a celebration. We always like to do birthdays here, yes. And it was Margaret's birthday. So let's give some love to Margaret in the chat. And Margaret, you're not going to get away that easily. So don't go anywhere. Stay for the whole service like you normally do. But happy birthday to you, Margaret. We certainly love you and we appreciate you so very much. Let's see. So the Revolution of Love. For those of you that may be new, and if you see a new name or a new face, please give them some love in the chat or send a message. Let's really make sure we are doing community care here, okay? The Revolution of Love, it is a multi-path ministry. What the heck is that? What does that mean? Is it interfaith? No. Is it non-denominational? No. It is multi-path because most everybody has a path. So some of you are religious, some of you are more spiritual inclined, some of you may be atheist or agnostic or wrestling with whatever it might be. You might be animists, you might be pagans. It's all welcome. Yes, it's all welcome. Now, and we welcome all identities. So all the pieces of you, correct? So your racial identity, your age, your status, your class, your ability, yes, your sexual orientation, your gender expansiveness. All of this is welcome. We're not doing anybody any favors. This is how it's supposed to be. This isn't like we're not doing anyone any favors, like I said. Now there is a caveat, and what is that? What is the one thing that we say, as welcoming as we are, what is the one thing that we say? Someone come off mute and elucidate it for us. You all know it. You've said it before.
This is not a place for you if you exhibit hatred, if you had hatred for anyone, or exhibit any profound feelings that are hurtful to people. That's another way to say it. I'm very, very tired, so not saying the exact thing. So. And
it's all good, Leslie. It's certainly not, it's not a final. but you got it. You got it. So we are not here to co-sign, enable, align, or accommodate with systems and structures of violence, hatred, and oppression. We're not going to do it. So we recognize that we are always learning, right? And that we always have to educate ourselves. And that part of dismantling white supremacy and white supremacy culture, that includes our own personal journey, right? And that all of us have been afflicted, all of us have been impacted, all of us have been affected by it, regardless of how much privilege one has or does not have. So we fight here. We fight here. We fight in a way, we stay in the struggle. We stay in the struggle, and we recognize that we have to educate ourselves. We have to have these massive shifts in our awareness and our consciousness that we may really heal. And in the prayer, I did not say this, but since the last time we met, there has been Buffalo, there's been a rash of more gun violence and shootings, Buffalo and Uvalde and Laguna Woods, and probably many more that maybe we are not even aware of. So this is our lives right now. We have incarnated in a very challenging time, and yet this is what it is. So we have choice, my friends. We have choice. And again, I thank you for making the Revolution of Love tonight one choice in your way to amplify your life and other people's lives. So we stand with Black Lives Matter, the movement for racial equity and racial justice, recognizing that that is dismantling white supremacy. And there are always ways in our link tree to really take action in that dismantling for collective liberation. Okay, let's take a breath after that. Yes, take a breath. We can't breathe enough. We can't breathe enough. It's so important to bring our bodies into this. We're going to have the, what are we going to have? We're going to have the Revolution of Love blessing. And I will also ask for a volunteer to do this. It's 3 times. We see you, we hear you, we love you, 3 times. So who would like to lead this? Please volunteer. Don't be shy. Come on.
I will do it.
Thank you, Margaret.
Yeah. So we see you, we hear you, we love you. Let's go the first time. We see you.
See you.
We hear
We
you.
hear you.
Hear you.
Love
We
you.
love you.
Love you.
All together now. Second time.
We
We
see
see
you.
you.
We
hear
Hear you.
We love
Love
you.
you.
Third time. From your feet, from the earth, from your soul. We
see
see you.
See you.
We
We
hear
hear
you.
you.
We
We
love
We
love
love
you.
you.
Woo! There it is. Okay, see, the jokes never stop. It just never stops here at the roll, because that's how we roll. Oh goodness. Okay. Now what happens? Oh, a couple of important announcements. Nancy Day is our featured artist tonight, and she has an Indiegogo campaign that we must support. Do you like how I said that? We must support. And I know that either Nancy or Manny will be putting that in the chat for the link for you to go to that. So that's very exciting. And maybe Nancy, you can tell a little bit more when you're about to perform or play and bless us. The other thing is something Gabriella and I have teamed up for, and I'm just going to shift it right to Gabriella right now.
There we go. Sorry, I was having technical difficulties. Hello, everybody. Good evening. It's beautiful to be here tonight and see everyone's face. Yes, I am so excited about what Reverend Felicia and I are crafting, because as have been mentioned, we're in these polar extremes. It can feel like right now there is so much going on systemically with violence, and even in our own families. Sometimes it can feel like it can be overwhelming just to get out of bed. And then on another extreme, there's a lot of joy, or hopefully there's some joy that we're calling in. And what I really appreciate about the Revolution of Love is this is a place that can tether us to really important sustainable measures like joy and like hope and connection and community. But if you're like a lot of us, we can always use more. And what Rev and I have been noticing is that there is just a lot of exhaustion, and so many people are navigating burnout, and there is just this collective sense that we need some healing. And so what we have put together is a really incredible workshop in less than a month now. It'll be on July 7th. And what we're doing is pairing the Creating Effervescence teachings of Reverend Felicia with really beautiful and pure essential oils, specifically from doTERRA. And that is my forte. And the reason that we're doing this is because when we call in healing, we must think about mind, body, spirit, soul, if that is how you lean, as well, because we are whole people, and it does not work just to focus on one aspect of that. It has never worked. And when we think about indigenous methods, there is such a beautiful wholeness in how they call in that healing element, and really thinking about multiple modalities that can minister to our bodies. And these essential oils are definitely one of them. And what I love about doTERRA is that there are no synthetics, there's nothing added, and it really is a way of caring for our whole selves. And there's something amazing about pairing these oils with the teaching, because even in the moment when you're feeling stressed, there are certain oils that you can call in. If you're having trouble breathing, there are certain oils you can help call in. We'll go over more of that. And the last thing that I will say before turning it back over is that when you register for this webinar, you will actually get 3 free samples. And so you'll be able to use some of the oils simultaneously while we're doing the webinar and while Rev is teaching and sharing. So it will be this amazing process. So I'm so excited, and tickets are going to drop tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. So there is a countdown. We are like T-minus 12 hours right now. So I hope there's some excitement. There's a graphic up on the Facebook page. Please share this with your networks as well. And we really are looking forward to seeing people Thursday, the 7th at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time via Zoom. Rev, please add on if I forgot things.
No, I think you covered it all. Thank you so much, Gabriella. So I know we've already actually have someone that's reserved their spot. So please, if this is an interest to you, and if you have any questions, you can contact Gabriella or myself. But it's really going to be a wonderful experience. And I emphasize experience. It's all very experiential. So tomorrow, 7 a.m. on our link tree, you will see the link warbling, something like that. Let's see. So now let's do our pivot. Everybody ready? And there we go. We're pivoting, we're shifting, we're amplifying our consciousness right now. And actually, kidding aside, really call that in. Really become more aware than you ever have, because Nancy Day is coming to bless us. So let us all be very receptive and making sure that we are in that reciprocity flow in this next coming minutes. First, let me tell you some about Nancy. So Nancy Day is very excited to be here with us at Roll tonight. She is an original song and lyric writer, pianist, vocalist, arranger, and producer. Nancy's been making her living at music since 1982 and has produced 17 albums of original songs. Count them, 17 albums. She will be performing original songs tonight, I believe. I think Nancy, correct that if I'm mistaken there. And she feels that the love and hope of her music is a good fit with the goals of Roll, with the mission and vision of Roll. I like that. She is excited to announce her brand new collection, What is in a Dream, which will be available through her Indiegogo fundraising campaign. And that is what I just referenced that started yesterday. Nancy has toured in 39 of our 50 states and Canada as a solo artist, and has written the music and lyrics for 5 musicals. She's dedicated to making a positive, healing, empowering, and loving change in the world, and has written numerous theme songs about the recovery from assault and abuse, human rights, protecting and saving our planet, breast cancer awareness, drug addiction and recovery, care for our elders, and other vital issues. Nancy performs music as a seasoned entertainer, educator, and insightful motivator. She feels blessed to be on the planet, sharing her love and part of role this evening. So please give a very warm, open-hearted welcome for Nancy Day. Nancy.
Hi, hi everyone. Oh gosh, I am so pleased and truly, genuinely happy to be here. I know that there have been challenging days for me, having to do with grief, which I know we're visiting that topic this evening. And also with all that's been going on recently and the photographs that we've been seeing in the news of all of those who have been lost recently. In many situations, it made me think of this song, Photograph, that I wrote right after 9/11. Here we go. Oh, and my pronouns are she, her, hers. Sorry. I see you in a photograph, and I can feel you close to me. You're still alive within my heart, and there you'll always stay. I admit I don't know why life ends. I've lost some family and some friends, and every day when daylight ends, I know we all live on. Sometimes I almost see you standing next to me. Although I start to cry, there still remains a smile. I see you in a photograph, and hold on. I see you in a photograph, and though I'm older than before, the memory of you lives on, reminding me to dream. You'll always mean the world to me. You're a part of me, always. Sometimes when life gets tough, feels like I've had enough. Your faith and strength and love give me hope again. I see you in a photograph, and though I'm older than before, the memory of you lives on, reminding me to dream. You'll always mean the world to me. You're a part of me, always.
Nancy, thank you so very much. Everybody, let's give her some love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Write something in the chat, put a Bitmoji up, however we or you feel called to do it. Thank you. Wonderful, wonderful. So just coming in to this time in a deeper way right now, and taking a breath, if you would, breathing in. And when you exhale, really completely release and let go that which does not belong to you. And then another breath, breathing in. And then a beautiful exhale out of the mouth, my friends. No worries, no fear, no death here. And then another breath in, really breathing in. And then a nice, beautiful exhale. It is surely and truly in the confines of our minds and our hearts, and our bodies and our souls, that we are being called, that we are being invited into a place of grief, into a place of grief that is holding a love that seeks to break through us, break free from us. What is all of this talk of grief? I keep bringing it up. I keep harping on it. And if you recall, if you were here last time, I spoke about grief in a different way. Often when we think of grief, we associate that with a physical death that has transpired. And that there is something now or someone now that we need to grieve because they are no longer where we can see them. They are not in this time and space with us. That is often what we associate grief with, isn't it? But grief comes in so many different forms, so many different ways. There is the grief of moving. There is the grief of a job change. There is the grief of a relationship ending or a divorce. There is a grief, maybe changing religions, maybe leaving one set of belief system and moving into another. There are so many different types or kinds of grief. As there is a siren going by, blessings. But there is this particular grief, my friends. Please feel this again. I must bring this back up. There is a grief of the way that we are not living in this world. A grief in the way that we are not being. So think right now, like pull the camera back in your life and think about your daily interactions. And maybe it's interpersonal, I don't know, maybe it's just in community. And I hope, and I venture to say that there are some interactions you can piecemeal through your day and you would probably feel very uplifted. I hope, like I said, I pray this for you. And there is also those places of sink. And what I mean by sink is that there's these pockets, these certain places that just sort of go downwards into an energy that is maybe despair, or that is not kind, or that is cruelty, that there may be even a certain form of violence, recognizing that violence is beyond the physical. And these are daily things that all of us are met with. Hell, we could go to the market and we can see different guns and ammo magazines at a certain eye level. And taking that in day after day, that kind of violence, I believe this is the painstaking grief that it does something. It wears on our souls. It degrades us. It chips away at us. And for those of us that are even semi-aware that are even halfway conscious, we know that this is not how it is supposed to be. And what are we supposed to do with that day in and day out? And then you add 230 plus mass shootings. You add that. And if you believe that we are all even remotely connected in this thing called life, this journey, that is going to do something to us. Whether you believe in the soul concept or not, it is going to do something to our bodies. It is going to wear heavily on us. See, I can't let go of this. I can't let go of this grief. And let me be totally clear, and just in case it's not, let's go backwards in time. Let's do it that way. Let's go at from that angle. I pray that all of us knew some kind of safekeeping, some kind of peace, some kind of joy, some kind of love at some point, probably very, very long ago. And where that prayerfully was more consistent. And so in that consistency, there was a certain rhythm and a flow. And maybe you have to go back to being really, really little, like, I don't know, 3 or 4 or 5 years old. But see, it's the life experiences that begin to happen, isn't it? It's all of the societal muck and again, violence and oppression, and all of the cultural pieces and all of the environmental stuff, all of these things combined then with whatever is happening in your family system. And if you believe in past lives, then you've got that coming down too. There is so many different things that begin to imagine right now, almost like bricks or blocks, and they just keep coming. They just keep coming. They just keep coming. Where your heart begins to sort of, without knowing it, it starts to close up because we're afraid. Because we're afraid. And because to live in a place of openness connotes a vulnerability. And to be vulnerable means to keep on getting hurt or blasted by the bricks. And so who needs that? I want to speak to the places within all of us right now, or the place within all of us that knows that there is this way of being, this way of love that exists, that must exist, and that we must, even if we don't, here's the thing, even if we don't believe it exists, it doesn't matter, because we will cling to it. We will grab on and hang on to it, and we'll work for it. We will work for it because we have to. And not for our own self-help, like self-love crap. And believe me, I'm not dismissing that work. It's part of it. And it leads us to springboarding into the world to create that collective liberation, that freedom, that love. So by putting our finger, or even maybe, I don't know, pointing is not such a good thing, is it? But by putting our finger on this, or maybe even coming back into our hearts right now and recognizing, look, we have choice here. We're wise people here. You all have been on your journeys. And to remember that it's not We don't have to get hurt. And that to grieve is to love. That when we grieve and when we name that we are not living in a proper, in a beautiful, in a harmony, in an equalized compassion, to name that, okay, that is not happening, we can grieve that. In fact, we must grieve that. We must name it and be real about it. It is the naming of this soul sickness or this grief that begins to further ignite our souls and bring us home to a heart opening, a heart breaking love. Oh boy, it's true. It's true. But grief is scary. Grief is scary because it feels like it's never going to end. And when we're talking about this kind of grief, this grief that is almost like we can't always center this, that we're not living in accordance with spirit, in this path of love, in this way of love. I mean, if we were to live like that all the time, it would become overwhelming to our systems. So we have to sort of necessarily, we have to keep going. We have to keep surviving. We have to keep going. What I'm proposing this night, and that I started proposing however many weeks back, was that we got to feel. We have to feel. And in that feeling process, to know once again that nothing is going to happen to you. This sounds maybe really obvious. However, that's how I think afraid we are of the rumbles and the earthquakes of our feelings and our pains and our hurts and our sadnesses. When we allow this grief, we love. And when we love, we grieve. There are so many books. There are so many teachers trying to get us to heal and remember what is real. And I didn't mean to rhyme there, by the way, but truly trying to get us to heal and open up our hearts. Hell, people go to therapy. They want to heal. They want to have a better life. They want to feel. They want to have heart-centered connections. So coming in this way, my friends, my dear ones, my beloveds, coming in this way into your heart, intentionally, consciously, to be with whatever is there. If there is that pain that I think many of us feel, because we know we're not experiencing a consistent harmony and balance and love. By coming into that place and sitting there as though we are in the cave together, our hearts begin to awaken in such a way it's almost as though our hearts begin to feel seen again and heard. My prayer for us, because I feel like this is enough tonight. My prayer for us is that we recognize that we have choice to go as far into grief as we can. That no one and no thing is going to take you on a tsunami trip beyond what you can handle. And so that you, if you believe in a Godhead, maybe not, can say yes to this choice of consciously taking pause and sitting and being in whatever grief or pain or sadness, as I said, is there. And from this place of consciousness, to be open and aware of what your heart wants to do. We have to believe that our hearts want to be open and pliable and not closed and brittle. We have to believe that our hearts are ready for that, and that our hearts want to see people and hear people and love people in the way that they want to be seen and heard and loved. We have to believe that our hearts are so badass and strong that we can bring about sophisticated transformation in such a time as this. We have to believe this. We have to. When we grieve, we love. When we grieve, we will love. And when we love, we will grieve. This is my prayer for each of you this Sunday. Please take good care of yourself and chart how you feel in the coming days. Check in with yourself and see what love is there for you. And so it is. Amen. Okay, let's have a prayer. Let's have a prayer. And if you would like to put your prayer requests in the chat, then please do. Okay, so I'm going to fall into prayer, and then I will look to see if there are requests that we can lift up for folks. Okay, Spirit, one that moves in so many different ways. Thank you for another evening here that we may roll together in such a way that is new. Be with our hearts, be with our strength, be with our bodies, be with our loves and our voices. A prayer of thanksgiving for each and every person here, and a prayer of love for each and every person, that they may feel it in a way that is new to them, in a way that is different for them, because they are that deserved and they're that important and they matter so very much. so very much. A prayer for our unhoused communities. May they be safe. May we work together to create a different way of being and a different way of doing for them in a way that truly transforms poverty and homelessness. Prayers for different communities, specifically right now, thinking of religious communities and spiritual communities. May we continue to center the work of anti-oppression in our organizations, in community together, that we can bring about effective change, that we can really bring about love and justice. And prayers for our family members who may be sick right now, who may be struggling from different illness, different medical issues. And so we lift up those folks and our families that have had trials and tribulations, especially as of late, knowing that healing is coming and that healing does not always look like we think it should, but it always comes in the way it will. And turning my attention now to the chat. On behalf of Robert Gross, a prayer request of healing for Lindsay. And good thoughts for Robert's wife, Becky, who is having a medical procedure tomorrow. Yes. And on behalf of Gabriella, a prayer for Gabriella's uncle and his health, and a prayer for wisdom for her as she makes some important decisions. So lifting her up. And then on behalf of Evie for her daughter, circumstances regarding divorce with young children is triggering her, and thoughts of suicidal ideation. So we really surround a hedge of protection right now, a hedge of protection for Evie's daughter, and prayers for her strength to navigate her fears of being alone when children are with another parent, with the other parent. And then on behalf of David and Margaret, we pray for protection for our LGBTQIA friends and family members, especially during this month of Pride. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. I'll just hold for just a moment, see if there are any other prayer requests. Knowing that there may in fact be other prayer requests that are not being spoken, and knowing that Spirit hears those too. Yes. So prayers from Nancy, prayers for Anita facing surgery for uterine cancer, and prayers for Jane, who was too ill to attend her mother's funeral. She is lonely. Prayers for Lisa, who's facing cancer in her spine after getting through breast cancer. Yes. And so we recognize that there is also much loneliness. So lifting up a prayer for all of those that are experiencing loneliness from whatever it might be, wherever the origin is, prayers of love and kindness and warmth to all of those that are feeling separate from. And however far that separation goes, whether it goes into such an alienation that someone does not want to be here no longer, or whether it is some misgiving, some feeling of unwellness. So really gathering all these prayers, and I invite everybody to do this right now. Just because I'm the one speaking doesn't mean really anything. Please, in your hearts, again, bringing in the heart, in your open hearts, gathering almost like a bushel, all of these wonderful prayers. And if you want to lift them, if you want to hold them dear, however it feels good for you, but knowing that this is a sacred container. And so Spirit, thank you again. Thank you. If the only prayer we ever say is thank you, we are good. Prayers of gratitude for this time, and knowing that the healing is happening now, and that we will continue to show up for it in the ways that are called for. And the people said, Amen, Amen, Ashe, Aho. And I will shift right over to Nancy.
I decided to go into an improv. And after this, we'll do happy birthday to Margaret. When we grieve, we love. When we love, we grieve. It's all a part, even in the broken heart. There's light to find if you realize that it is love that brought you to your sadness. It is love. Even in this madness, it is love. You won't fall apart if you feel the tears start. So just take this moment. There's the invitation. We're all here together, even as one nation, even as we all have different reasons, we all have different lives. We're all still connected on the planet at this time. So love, love, so love, love, love in your tears, love in your anger, and love because you have reason to grieve, reason to live, reason to love, because you've loved, because you need it, because you deserve it, because it's here. We hurt because we've loved before. We hurt because we need it more. We hurt because we do believe somehow love is there. Love is here. Love is here. Love is the magic that will get you through. You won't fall, you will not break, you will not lose yourself for love's sake. Love isn't that way. Your heart is strong in your tears, it's strong in your heart. Believe, believe, there's reason to feel, there's reason right now. There's reason. And now, a happy birthday for Margaret. And another who has musical talent and a voice that carries love to us all. Let's sing happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to
Yes, thank you so much, Nancy. Oh, sorry, Margaret, go ahead.
Oh, I just was saying thank you. Thank you so much.
Beautiful. We do birthdays here, don't we, everyone? Happy birthday, Margaret. And happy birthday to Moses, Leslie's Moses. The four-leggeds, we acknowledged our four-leggeds as well here. And please do let us know if you have a birthday, and we don't want to miss it. Certainly not. And let's thank Nancy Day one more time for that beautiful improvisational music she just did. Wow, thank you. We are 3 minutes past, so we have to turn into pumpkins. And no, we don't have to turn into pumpkins. Blessings, everyone. Please take good care of yourself. Drink lots of water, get lots of rest, and remember to keep your hearts open to whatever degree or level is comfortable for you, okay? Okay, and we'll see you in 2 weeks on the 4th Sunday. I see Herb has his hand up. I don't know if he meant to have his hand up. Okay, well, come off mute, everyone. If you want to say something, now's the time to come off mute and say your goodbyes.
Just
See everybody later.
I
Thank
just
you, Nancy.
Bye.
Bye
Everyone. Great
Thank
show.
you, everyone.
Music. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you, Rev, and happy birthday, Margaret, if you're still here.
Thank you. I am. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Happy
everyone.
birthday.
Happy birthday, Margaret. Thank
Hey,
you,
David.
Nancy.
Birthday, Moses.
Bye-bye.